I heard that you live in Warsaw and would like to tell us how you like the capital of Poland.
Yeah, I'm not really a big city person, but of the big cities, Warsaw is pretty nice to live in.
Okay.
We're in a pretty nice spot in a small apartment, and it's nice to have the culture and the convenience of a big city when you come home from trips.
Okay, that's nice. And now, please introduce yourself to the fans. Tell us about your racing career so far.
So I'm from the east coast of Canada. We have a pretty long history of offshore sailing and seamanship. So I've been sailing since I was a kid, and started focusing on offshore properly when I was getting into a teenager. So I did my first 100-mile race when I was about 13, and started doing international races and deliveries when I was 15, I think. And kind of realized that it could be a career outside of the Olympic class sailing that all of my peers were doing. So I started focusing more on that and on big boats and on the mechanical side, with a specialty in rigging as well. So that's where my core business and skill set is on the rigging and rig management side. And started in 2015, I decided to go full-time with offshore sailing, and I was lucky enough to get on the Aspiring Offshore Athlete program with Canadian Ocean Racing and O Canada. So I got in with those guys, built some good relationships, and went into big boat sailing and offshore full-time. And through 12-meter sailing and other Grand Prix stuff and offshore boats and skippering and sailing, I've been pushing towards this for full time for sure for the past 3 years, and as an overall goal since the start of my career, really. So I started on the 65s. I started with Sailing Poland just before COVID hit, so that was pretty up and down. And then for the Euro Tour, I teamed up with the Austrians, and I've been lucky enough to sail with them ever since.
Okay, so until practically the last moments, it was not known that whether the team will participate in the ocean race. And tell me, how do you, as a team, was able to find budget to start and to be here in Alicante right now?
Budget's pretty small, as always. I think as a team, we're very lucky to have a core group of people that are really, really driven to make the goals happen, as well as having the skills to be able to do a lot of the work and the mechanics ourselves. So, we had the San Giorgio Marine in Genoa help us out a lot with the logistics and obviously all the painting and boat work. But in terms of the mechanics and the engineering and the rigging side and the sailmaking, we're very lucky to have a core team that can do that independently without a lot of contractors. So we can get a lot done on our side without having the budget of the other big teams. And that's how we've operated for the past couple of years since the team was formed, really. And I think that's the biggest reason we've been able to pull it off with such a low budget and such a low time, was the skill and the drive of the core team.
And how has this affected crew selections for this regatta and your preparations? Because it was, I think, not long to practice.
Yeah, the preparation is really zero. Although there's a lot of other teams that are in the same position, so we're trying to do it as best as we can with what we have. And the crew selections were really based off of the people that we knew, and the people that we knew had the skills to run the boat, and the personality and the ability to mesh with the rest of the team. So thankfully we've had a big pool of sailors we've sailed with over the years that we could draw from, and we were able to put together a quite driven, young, competitive team out of that pool.
Okay, and what result are you aiming in this regatta? What will be the success?
For me, mid fleet is good. We know that we're not going to be the fastest in straight line speed. So for us, I think getting to the finish in one piece and being mid fleet or top half is going to be really good. Personally, I'd like to see us executing on the maneuvers, and when we have passing opportunities that aren't related to boat speed, we can make smart decisions at the right time to gain the advantage that we can get, that we know we're not going to be able to push for in the straight line boat speed area.
Okay, and now let's talk maybe about the future. Is that true that you want to compete in Vendée Globe in 2028? What's the plans?
For me, the Vendée is an overall plan, not necessarily the single high point or end of my career for sure. It's within the scope of things that I want to do, and it's something that I want to do as part of a lifelong offshore career. With offshore, we know the big three are the Volvo and the Vendée, and the overall win of the kind of 600-mile classic races. So for me, the first goal was the team racing with the ocean race, and that's still a goal of mine. I'd like to go around the world with the team in a crewed boat, but also having the experience of a Vendée behind me, I think will help in both sides of that. So 2028 is certainly not fixed, but it's definitely not out of the picture to go around the world then.
Okay, and last question: biggest sailing dream?
For me, right now would be to win the ocean race in whichever format that looks like in the future. Whether it's a rating rule like back in the Whitbread days, or an open one design or box rule. Whatever that looks like in the future. My goal is to have a long career and to do all the biggest races and to win the biggest ones like the ocean race.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And good luck.
Thanks very much.